folks, and welcome back to another episode of Midlife Models from Ruined to Refreshed. PJ here. A long overdue episode, I'll grant you that. And this time we're going to be doing a DMC monthly challenge, and it is the any TV or film vehicle. Now, back in the day, I've done a couple of episodes where I've done the SPC, Special Patrol Car from Captain Scarlet. I did an original one, but at the time I hadn't got a spare aerial, and I put a silver, I mocked up a spare aerial, and since then I've had some different materials, and now I've replaced the silver aerial with the more authentic white type aerial, just made from a bit of plastic piping that's readily available to model makers on Amazon. However, since then we then went on to do a Captain Black version of the SPC, which I quite like. I think it's quite effective. So obviously you can see where we're going to go with this. We're going to do a Captain Blue, and we're going to do a Captain Brown, although I'm going to use more of a bronze brown to give it that metallic look like the red one. So ordered some spare parts which have come today. Got some decals made. This is a mishmash of parts that I've collected, and finally I get round to putting it all together, and there's nothing better than for me doing a Jerry Anderson model, a bit of a Jerry Anderson nut. That and my Batmobiles, they're my two passions. So we've got some spare parts. This one's already in pieces, but I've got the screws for them. They've got the engine clickers. They're not, this one's broken, pretty much unrepairable. This one's not brilliant, but we're going to stick them back on. It's not about getting the engines working for me, it's the display value. So that's my plan. Let's crack on and disassemble these and get moving, and I'll catch you soon. Cheers. So welcome to the reveal, folks, of our SPCs. Another couple to add to our Spectrum Patrol group. We've done a Captain Brown, which is kind of a bronze really, but don't tell anybody, and a Captain Blue. And I like these. Anytime I can get to do a Jerry Anderson vehicle, I love having a go at it. I think Andy Bourne was one of the guys who pointed one of them out to me, so thanks to Andy. If anybody usually sends me one, I'm right on it. I know it has been a while since I've done a video, so apologies for that. They're pretty simple to do, let's be fair. There's only one screw holding the body and chassis together. Remove that, clean up the engine. The plastic parts inside can be replaced. It's the engine mounting which is the hardest part to get hold of. But if you're using them, if you want to just use them as display models, then you can leave that part out. It's not necessary. Nitpickers will always want the best they can get. These are mine. They're not going to anybody else. So, as I've always said with other collectors and restorers, if it's yours, you do what you want with it. It's your choice. So I'm quite pleased with how these have turned out. So there you go, that's my entry into the TV or film vehicle. Next month we're doing any American vehicle. Come and join us on the ever-expanding DMC Facebook group. We're up to 418 members now. Our monthly challenges are getting bigger and bigger, hence my time is becoming more and more limited. But I'm forever grateful for all the guys that take part in it and help support us by becoming benefactors. So there you go. This is PJ signing off. Till next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.